All right, you guys, welcome. Welcome to, I guess today's what, Monday or something? I don't know. Is it Monday? Monday, June 3rd. Okay. So we're already halfway through the year. Well, it's not letting me. There it is. There, it's letting me now. I have some kind of lighting issues right now, so I'm just going to have to deal with them for the moment being. So you guys just bear with me. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is one is kind of important because this is why people don't comprehend exactly what's going on. So I kind of did a little um, a speech, if you will, just something that I could put together that was really informative and that I could talk with you guys about. And then I can, if you guys have questions, I will take questions in the comment section and I'll be looking at that as time goes by as we go through this. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed citizens and fellow patriots, gather around for today. We embark on a journey through the annals of history, law, and the curious realm of public trusts and mistaken allegiances. Now, don't let the subject matter fool you. While we may delve into some somber depths of legal statutes and ancient principles, I assure you this tale shall be as riveting as a Shakespeare drama, filled with twists, turns, and, dare I say, a sprinkling of humor.
The following program contains mature content and is the truth. No part herein is intended to be legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. Audience discretion is advised.
Once upon a time in the year of our Lord 1917, amidst the tumultuous waves of World War I, the United States Congress, in its infinite wisdom, decided to enact the Trading with the Enemy Act. Now you might be wondering, what on earth does the Trading with the Enemy Act have to do with me? A law-abiding citizen just trying to get by in the land of the free. Herein lies the rub, my friends. The Trading with the Enemy Act, originally designated to restrict trade with the countries deemed hostile during wartime, has morphed over the decades like a shape-shifting chameleon, adapting to new contexts and occasionally ensnaring the unsuspecting citizen in its legal web. But fear not, for today we unravel this intricate tapestry, ensuring that by the end of the journey you'll not only understand the importance of clarifying your status, but also how to avoid the pitfalls of unintended allegiance. Imagine, if you will, that the United States is a grand theater, and that each of us mere players upon its stage. The Trading with the Enemy Act is a piece of legislation that casts a wide net, originally meant to catch those trading with foreign adversaries. However, like a poorly trained fisherman, sometimes that net catches a bit more than intended, pulling in unsuspecting citizens who have, quite by mistake, accepted benefits from a public trust. Now, you might ask, Patrick, what exactly is a public trust? That's an excellent question. A public trust is, in essence, is a construct whereby certain benefits, rights, or privileges are extended to individuals by the government. These might include Social Security, public welfare, or other such goodies that seem innocuous enough but with strings attached. Accepting these benefits can sometimes place you under the umbrella of a public charity, thus presuming your allegiance to the trustor, in this case, Uncle Sam. So why does this even matter? Why should you, a noble free citizen, be concerned about such legal entanglements? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Under the principles of equity jurisprudence, which, mind you, predate our modern statutes, the acceptance of benefits from a trust often comes with an implied agreement to certain conditions and obligations. Think of it as the fine print in a contract, easy to overlook, but binding nonetheless. Let's take a delightful detour into the realm of equity jurisprudence, a fascinating domain where the scales of justice are meticulously balanced. Equity, my friends, is all about fairness, and its principles dictate that one who accepts benefits must also bear the burdens. This ancient doctrine is succinctly captured in the maxim, "He who seeks equity must do equity." Simply put, if you partake in the benefits of a trust, you must also shoulder its obligations. But worry not, for I have not gathered you here merely to wax poetic about ancient legal principles. I'm here to equip you with the knowledge and tools to navigate these murky waters with the deftness of a seasoned mariner. To avoid the presumption of allegiance under a public charity, one must make their status crystal clear. This means explicitly declaring your independence from any public trust benefits that might otherwise suggest your consent to their conditions. Picture this. You're at a banquet, and the host, ironically enough, Uncle Sam, offers you a sumptuous feast of Social Security benefits, public welfare, and other delectable morsels. You, a discerning guest, must decide whether to partake or politely decline. Should you choose to indulge, you implicitly agree to the house rules. Declining, however, asserts your autonomy, keeping you free from any unintended obligations. Now I see a few furrowed brows and quizzical expressions. Fear not, because I'm going to illustrate this concept with a parable. Imagine a farmer, content in his self-sufficiency, who one day accepts a gift of seeds from the king. These seeds, while promising a bountiful harvest, come with a decree. The farmer must now pay a portion of his yield to the royal granary. Our farmer, realizing the strings attached, decides to return the seeds, thus maintaining his independence. The moral of this tale? Be mindful of the gifts you accept, for they may carry unseen obligations. In the grand theater of the United States, maintaining your status and independence requires vigilance and a touch of legal savvy. You must be like the farmer, discerning and cautious, ensuring that any benefits you accept do not inadvertently bind you to unwanted allegiances. So how does one go about making their status clear? It's simpler than you might think. It involves a series of declarations and actions that unequivocally state your position. They might include formal renunciations of certain benefits, clear statements of intent, and in some cases, legal documentation affirming your independent status. The key is transparency and assertiveness. Leave no room for ambiguity. Your attempt is to come with clean hands and in honor. It's not to be deceptive. Now let's inject a bit of humor into our legal discourse, shall we? Imagine, if you will, the Trading with the Enemy Act as a particularly overzealous librarian, shushing even those who merely glance at a book on the foreign affairs. Our job is to ensure that we're not mistaken for rowdy patrons merely by our presence in the library. We must carry a sign that reads, "Not engaging in foreign trade, just here for the Wi-Fi." Okay? So that's what you guys do. In conclusion, the Trading with the Enemy Act, the principles of equity jurisprudence, may seem daunting subjects with the clear understanding of a bit of humor. We can navigate these legal waters with confidence. Remember, clarity of status is paramount. Avoid the allure of seemingly benign benefits if they come with strings attached, and always assert your independence with unwavering conviction. As we part with this, I want to leave you this wisdom. Be the discerning farmer, the savvy mariner, and the cautious banquet guest. Stand tall and declare your status, and remain steadfast in independence. For the grand theater of life and law is not just our actions, but our clarity of purpose that defines our true allegiance. So we're going to go over the genesis of the Trading with the Enemy Act and talk about this a little bit. Our story begins in the 20th century, a period marked by global upheaval and the Great War, also known as World War I. In 1917, amidst the chaos of war, the United States Congress passed the Trading with the Enemy Act. This was a piece of legislation that aimed at hostile to American interests. The primary goal was to prevent economic resources from bolstering enemy war efforts. The Trading with the Enemy Act, however, was not merely a wartime measure. It laid out the groundwork for legal framework that could be adopted and invoked in times of peace and conflict alike. As a result, its reach extended far beyond the battlefield, influencing economic policies and individual rights for decades to come. They currently stand to this day. As with any piece of legislation, the Trading with the Enemy Act evolved over time. What started as a wartime necessity gradually transformed into a tool for managing economic relations during peacetime. Over the years, amendments in the interpretations broadened its scope, sometimes catching unsuspecting citizens in its wide net. One notable expansion occurred during the Great Depression and World War II. The Trading with the Enemy Act was amended to include provisions that allowed the U.S. government to control foreign assets and regulate transactions involving foreign nationals. These amendments aimed to safeguard the national economic stability and security. While the Trading with the Enemy Act served its purpose during the times of national crisis, it also led to unintended consequences for ordinary citizens. The broad language of the act, coupled with its expansive interpretations, meant that the individuals could inadvertently find themselves ensnared in its legal web. Imagine, if you will, a hapless citizen named John Doe. John, a law-abiding and patriotic American, never intended to trade with the enemy. However, through a series of events, he found himself accepting benefits from a public trust. Perhaps he applied for Social Security benefits, unaware of the potential implications. Suddenly, John was presumed to owe allegiance to a public charity, and his status became murky. At this juncture, it becomes imperative to emphasize the importance of status clarification. In the realm of equity jurisprudence, clarity of status is paramount. Accepting benefits from a public trust, even unknowingly, can create presumptions of allegiance and obligations that may not align with one's intentions. To illustrate this point further, let's consider this case of Mary Smith, a diligent citizen who sought to avoid any entanglements with public trusts. Mary understood the principles of equity and the potential pitfalls of accepting the public benefits. She made a conscious decision to declare her independent status, ensuring that her actions and affiliations were transparent and unequivocal. Now, dear citizens, you might wonder, how can I too ensure that my status is clear and free from unintended obligations? Fear not, for I shall provide you with practical steps to navigate this legal labyrinth. If you have inadvertently accepted benefits from a public trust, consider formally renouncing those benefits. This might involve submitting written statements or legal documents to clearly state your intention to opt out of the trust's provisions. Make your intentions known through clear and unambiguous declarations, whether through legal documents or public statements. Ensure that your position is well documented and easily understood. Avoiding public trust benefits, you can exercise caution when accepting benefits from public trusts. While some benefits may seem appealing, be mindful of the potential strings attached to the obligation they might entail. When in doubt, well, always ask for other affirmative citations on things. I don't personally go to legal counsel as such, but I do go and find the sources of where the information came from. Everything that's in equity has its equivalent in statutory, because statutory is a super jealous girlfriend. Super jelly. She's super jelly. So when the equity dude is standing there over on the side, the jealous girlfriend is just, she's just everything all over. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why can't I have that? How come you have that? What's that name of that? That's the jealous girlfriend, is statutory. Okay. Ensure that all your dealings with are transparent and above board. Okay. By that, just above par. Avoid any actions that might create the appearance of accepting public trust benefits, and clearly communicate your independent status to the relevant parties. Who are the relevant parties? Well, in your marriage, the relevant party would be your wife or your husband, okay? In your relationship, it would be your girlfriend or your boyfriend. In your abusive relationship with your car loan, it would be, well, the relevant party would be your car loan, your lender. But in equity, it wowould be a man or a woman. So that's something a little bit deeper. But let us take a moment to appreciate the historical roots of equity jurisprudence, and because it underpins the principles that we discuss. And equity as a branch of law emerged to address exactly what we're talking about. People don't believe this exists because, well, here's why. I'll tell you why. Because this corporation has taught you how to have nothing but unclean hands, and they haven't told you how to make the hands clean, And then everybody goes asking for things saying, well, this isn't right and this isn't right. And they don't really know exactly what's right and what isn't. They just know something isn't right. So we're just screaming at something. And we know we're right. We're not wrong. But until you tell them exactly what it is, you won't get remedy. And that's the problem. But I see equity happen all the time. I see it happen all the time. And equity can happen with your voice if you comprehend who you are. It is knowing your position, because we don't even realize how we've been bamboozled, okay, until you start getting really, really deep into this. But let's continue on. A key principle in equity is a concept of clean hands, as I said. The idea that one who seeks equitable relief must themselves be free of wrongdoing. But no one tells you what's right and what's wrong. So when you don't make certain offers for things at certain times, you don't get rid of the dishonor. And it's just like Indiana Jones. I describe it to folks. It's like Indiana Jones. When you go watch Indiana Jones, it's like he sticks a key in somewhere and then turns it, and then a floor comes across, and now he doesn't have to walk in a pit of snakes anymore. It's like, that's what equity is. It's the floor coming up so that you can walk across it, so that you don't have to walk in the pit of snakes, because the pit of snakes are inequitable. That's the whole point of all this, okay? So public charity as a concept has its historical and legal significance in medieval England. The ideal of public charity was closely tied to the church, believe that or not, which provided assistance to the needy, or at least they alleged to provide assistance to the needy. People that need assistance, when we need assistance on things, then obviously those things become super needy, right? I got a camera issue here. Sorry, guys. But when we need something on that, I don't know why this thing's falling down. It's okay. Anyway, over the time, administration of public charity evolved, with governments taking on more prominent role in providing social welfare. Okay, so in the modern context, public charity, it refers and encompasses a wide range of government administered benefits and programs that were designed to support individuals in need. That's what the intent was. However, it has been abused and used and abused. So it comes under the auspices that this is for the good of the public, but when it gets into the hands of the people that say it's good for the public, the attitude seems to change. And that's really, really what happens over time, is that transference. It is a alienation of property from one hand to another, and then it becomes an issue as far as the conveyance. And, people don't know. I was at the park today. I went to the dog park today, and I talked to somebody at the dog park, and they didn't know that the whole idea that, when we're giving signatures on voting stuff, like when you sign those voter requests or whatever, that you're actually opting into, something and being a participant in that particular thing. So that's part of this benefit. See, when you guys sign your name on there, you're saying, yes, I want somebody to go to bat for me. I want somebody to be on my side. And when they say, oh, they need us. So then they say, look, here's the proof that they need us. And consistently that keeps happening over and over. We keep getting people that we don't like that are in office because we keep saying, or people keep saying, I need this. See, people think that voting is really getting these people to do stuff. Voting is your participation only. It's you saying, I believe in you to be my daddy, to sponsor me. So as long as you guys are voting, you need to look up the definition between election and vote, okay? There's a difference between election and voting. Slaves vote, private people elect, okay? You have elections because you choose whatever you want, right? You don't vote. Vote is a part of a social crowd. It's like, if you want to belong to a motorcycle gang, then you have to vote. No, I'm just saying, this is the analogy of it, okay? Is that if you want to belong to a group, then you have to expect that they're going to want you to follow their rules. Simple. It's really simple. But if you don't, you can't look at the rule of the group and say, wow, I really like that group. I want to have that group stuff and not follow their rules. That doesn't work. That's called a trust. And once you get into a trust, it's under their rules. So you have to, Either determine your own rules and create your own trust, or you have to go by someone else's rules. Simple. In the ancient context, public charity encompasses a wide range of government administered benefits and programs that were designed to support individuals in need. While these programs serve important social functions, they also come with legal implications that can affect one's status and obligation. Okay? So, as we continue our journey through the legal landscape, we explore some of the real-world examples and case studies. In these case studies, they explore and illustrate the importance of status clarification and the potential pitfalls of accepting trust benefits. So, case study number 1, the cautious entrepreneur. Consider the case of James, an ambitious entrepreneur who sought to build a successful business. James was aware of the potential legal entanglements associated with public trusts, so he meticulously avoided accepting any government benefits that could compromise his status. He documented his independence through clear declarations and legal filings, ensuring that his business operations remained free from unwanted obligations. Through his vigilance, James was able to navigate the legal landscape with confidence, avoiding the pitfalls that ensnared others. His story serves as a testament to the importance of proactive status clarification. Okay? So here's another one, case study 2, the unwitting beneficiary. We turn our attention to Sarah. Sarah is a well-meaning individual. She found herself entangled in a public trust through no fault of her own. Sarah applied for and received Social Security benefits, unaware of potential implications. When she later sought to assert her independent status, she faced legal challenges due to the presumptions created by her acceptance of those benefits. Sarah's experience highlights the importance of understanding the legal consequences of accepting public trust benefits. It also underscores the need for clear communication and documentation to avoid unintended obligations. So, as we draw towards the conclusion of this, well, at least Sarah's, we reflect on the path forward. In a world where legal complexities abound, knowledge is our greatest ally. And by understanding principles of equity jurisprudence, the implications of the Trading with the Enemy Act, and the importance of clear status declaration, we can navigate legal landscape with confidence and clarity. Remember, your status is a reflection of your autonomy and independence. Guard it with care and ensure that your actions and affiliations are transparent and unequivocal. By doing so, you can avoid the pitfall of unintended allegiance and maintain your rightful place as free and sovereign men and women. In the grand theater of life and law, clarity of status is not just legal requirement. It's a declaration of your autonomy and your independence. The Trading with the Enemy Act and the principles of equity jurisprudence may seem formidable subjects, but with knowledge, vigilance, and a touch of humor, we can navigate these waters with confidence. So as we leave on this subject, take with you the wisdom of the discerning farmer, the savvy mariner, and the cautious banquet guest. Stand tall, declare your status, remain steadfast in your independence. For the grand theater of life and law, it is not just our actions, but our clarity of purpose that defines our true allegiance. And we're going to go into further explore the nuances of public trust benefits and potential impact. The subtlety of acceptance. Okay, one of the more insidious aspects of public trust benefits is subtlety, with which they can be accepted. Unlike a formal contract where terms and conditions are explicitly stated and agreed upon, the acceptance of the public trust benefits can be more implicit. In other words, implied. This implicit acceptance can create legal obligations without the beneficiary fully realizing what happened. Consider the process of applying for Social Security benefits. The application form may not explicitly spell out every condition or obligation that comes with receiving the benefits. However, by signing and submitting the form, you're implicitly implied. It's just agreed as it is. You're accepting those conditions, even if they are buried in fine print or referenced through other documents. Okay, so you're accepting that. Okay, so in the realm of equity jurisprudence, there exists the concept of legal fiction, a notion that certain facts are assumed to be true regardless of whether they are actually true. Okay, the concept often comes into play with public trust benefits, where the acceptance of benefits creates the presumption of consent to the associated terms and conditions. A classic example of legal fiction is the presumption that a person who benefits from a public trust has consented to its terms. The presumption can be difficult to rebut, especially if there's a lack of clear documentation or declarations to the contrary. Let us delve into another illustrative case study, this time focusing on the story of Helen, a cautious retiree. I have a couple of Helens in my group. Helen spent her entire career diligently saving for retirement, ensuring that she would not have to rely on public trust benefits. However, upon reaching retirement age, she found herself enticed by the promise of Social Security payments. Helen, being well-versed in equity jurisprudence, was wary of the potential strings attached to those benefits. She sought legal counsel and discovered that accepting Social Security benefits could create a presumption of consent that various governmental conditions and obligations. Armed with this knowledge, Helen made the informal decision to forego Social Security benefits, opting instead to rely on her personal savings and investment. Helen's story underscores the importance of informed decision-making and the need to carefully weigh the pros and cons of accepting public trust benefits. Her proactive approach allowed her to maintain her independent status and avoid unintended legal obligations. The idea behind the trust behind Social Security is because someone is handling it for you because you don't have a place to put those things right now. And that is as simple as creating your own trust. You need to create your own trust. You're going to need to find out what you need to do that. And there are ways to do it with wills, but you need to know the language of that, and you need to know exactly what it is you're conveying, because it's not just, the person I talked to today, I ran into, she says, well, my house is paid off. And I said, well, your house is paid off according to the contract you signed, but it's never paid off until you have valuable consideration for it. And I said, you could do that with $10 in silver, but you need to make the record and do that and complete it. So she was very grateful that we talked about that, had that conversation. But that's true. It's you're listed as a tenant on that whole transaction until you do something more with that. You're a subordinate position. So to navigate the legal landscape of public trust, it's essential to understand the various types of the benefit programs that fall under this particular umbrella. Public trusts encompass a wide range of government-administered programs, each with its own set of terms and conditions. Social Security is part of one of the most well-known public trust benefits. It was established in 1935 as part of Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal. The Social Security Act provides financial assistance to retirees, disabled individuals, and survivors of deceased workers. While Social Security offers vital support to many Americans, it also comes with legal implications that beneficiaries must consider. Unemployment benefits provide temporary financial assistance to individuals who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. These benefits are administered at both federal and state levels, and each program having its own eligibility criteria and condition. Accepting unemployment benefits can create a presumption of allegiance to the public trust administering the program. The public welfare programs, such as temporary assistance for needy families like TANF or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programs, SNAP, offer financial and food assistance to low-income individuals and families. These programs are designed to provide a safety net, but they also carry legal implications that beneficiaries must be aware of. Many of these single moms that just come into, being a mother for the first time, and they don't have, maybe another help of another party to support or help support them, it creates a lot of problems, and they are, well, they're stuck with something less than, they're stuck with whatever they can take. Basically, they're willing to sign for whatever they need, but that's actually a trick. So you actually sign up for that program and you give away your I want to say the credit that was provided. You give away the credit without any, like, you don't know the terms and conditions. That's what we were talking about, the condition, the contract that you can't see. So to navigate the complexity of this, it's essential to adopt a proactive and informed approach. We're going to give you some examples that you can take to ensure the acceptance of benefits doesn't inadvertently compromise your independent status. So first of all, this is no joke. Read the fine print. Here, I'm going to do this for you another way, maybe to get your attention.
Read the fine print.
Okay, read the fine print. Carefully review the terms and conditions. Make sure that everything associated with the public trust benefit you're considering is taken into consideration. Look at clauses that outline the obligations and conditions that come with accepting the benefits. Remember, you have 72 hours to rescind anything, so you can go back and say that you didn't agree to that, but it's important that you take that time to go look that stuff up. If you're not sure about implications of accepting a particular benefit, then ask questions. Send clarification from the administering agency or consult with another professional or somebody that can provide you guidance. Document everything. Keep thorough records of your decisions regarding public trust benefits. If you choose to accept a benefit, document your understanding of terms and conditions. If you opt to decline, record your reasons and any steps you took to renounce the benefit. You guys can call them any time and just give them updates on what your terms and conditions are, like at any point in time. And until the credit is pulled, some of it's already pulled, but until more of it, the more from the future, that's what you're giving stipulations on. It's all your choice. It's totally 100% up to you guys, but you guys got to make the stipulations. You have to make the record. Stay informed about any updates or changes, okay, that you're considering. If you guys carry a diary, that's your best bet. That's going to be like your Bible, okay? It is your Bible. In addition to individual efforts, collective advocacy plays a crucial role in shaping the landscape of public trust. And by advocating for greater transparency, fairness, and accountability in the public trust programs, we ensure that individuals, you guys, are treated fairly, not unburdened with unintended legal obligations. Let's consider the impact of legal advocacy organizations and work to protect the rights of beneficiaries and promote equitable treatment. The organizations play a vital role in challenging unfair practices. That's what the whole teaching is about. So you guys can learn, what's not fair, what is right. So if you don't know what's unfair, then you're just going to let people treat you unfairly. And we've been taught so many things that are not right that you guys really have to go back and get a new, fresh mindset on a lot of this stuff because it's been wrong. And if you know the legal stuff, you know the wrong stuff. Okay, you know their laws, you know their rules, it's like you walked into another family and it's their trust. And now you're just finding out, wait a second, I've been going along with this family's trust and it's not mine. It's not the way we do stuff, folks, I promise. Some of the stuff that's in that trust you would never do, especially some of the stuff in Title 42 USC. Especially look at 42 USC Section 666. No joke. Health and Human Services, Title 42. But that's their trust. That's a public charitable trust. That's where you find all of those benefits. That's where all the monetary mentions are in that, Title 42. So to fully appreciate the modern implications of public trusts, we take a brief journey through the history to explore the development and evolution. So the concept of public trust is traced back to medieval England, where the church played a central role in administering charitable trusts. These trusts were established to provide for the poor, the sick, and other vulnerable members of society. Today's age, it says that it's used for bridges, things like that, bridges and like anything that would benefit the public, right? Roads, bridges. the church acting as trustee. Imagine that, church. Because, obviously everybody wants somebody that's the closest to God, right? That's the whole idea behind having the church be that position, except what they did is they pulled a bamboozle on everybody. Okay. The church has portrayed itself in one way as being like the closest thing, but it's doing very deceptive things at the same time. And that can be seen all over. You can see that all over the regular news. Even the fake stuff has the truth out there. As societies evolved and governments took on the prominent role in social welfare, the administration of public trust shifted from religious institutions to governmental agencies. It's really hard for a church to take over a whole society when they're running everything down below, because everything down below people will not agree with. I think you guys can see that. Like, if the church was in charge of the trust and everything, people would hate the church. Simple as that. And then you can't take over the world. And you can't say some dude's coming back to save you. And you can't say this is the history. I'm going to tell you guys too, like, kudos out to Jason Brashears on archaics.com for his research, man. He went and found additional information. I encourage you guys to go watch his latest video, but he's got some information on there where he's showing the Bible, the original publication that we have of the Old Testament, was the reset. It was a reset after another cataclysmic event. So it was a publication written by the church to create a new set of history, and then the New Testament was a new set after another new cataclysmic event. So it's just like all this stuff is really making sense now, because if you think about it, and I'm not trying to convince anyone, I want you all to do your own research, because my conclusions were made based upon the factual evidence that I have researched myself, and I haven't researched where you have. I would love to talk to anybody that has any differing opinions, but these stories that are provided by the church as far as somebody doing something and being close to something, I've always questioned it, because I always thought, well, how can they say, well, you shall not worship any other before me except my son? Wait a second, except your son? Wait, we have our own son. Why do I need your son? That just really, to me, it didn't resonate. It didn't resonate. Like, there's no, except, and any exception is not the original organic thing. See, that's the whole catch. That's the catch 22. And then people can tell you, well, it's because of this reason. It's because of, listen, I grew up in Catholic schools all my life, from when I was little bitty up until I was in Catholic schools all the way through my high school. So I went to Borgade Catholic High School, run under the Holy Cross Fathers in Notre Dame. You can't get any closer to Satan than that. I don't know what, seriously, I respectfully, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I didn't know. My parents didn't know what this was about, what it all dealt with. But that's the whole point, is that you can't, and I'm saying this because this church is going to do some really, really janky stuff coming up, folks. You guys got to be ready that, they're going to come back and try to be the savior and save everybody in times of bad. And the scripture says that it does that. But I'm going to tell you this. The scripture can be changed by you guys. The scripture is just their record that they created a long time ago to try to get people to think that this is what's going to happen. If you think that this is what's going to happen, guess what? We all manifest it, and guess what? It does. It happens just like they said it. But if we can manifest another way that's about a love and abundance, then guess what? We can change things, and that's really what it comes down to. So let's change things. As societies evolved and governments took a more prominent role in social welfare, the administration of the trust shifted from religious institutions to government. The transition was marked by the establishment of various social programs designated to address the needs of the population. So it came out as, hey, we got somebody who needs something over here. Oh, we got a problem solution over here. So then they now we become necessary. So create a problem, create a solution, and then you become necessary. In the United States, the New Deal of the 1930s marked a significant expansion of public trust programs. It was huge. In response to the Great Depression, FDR implemented a series of social and economic reforms aimed at providing relief, recovery, and reform. The 3 R's. Key programs established during this period, such as Social Security and unemployment insurance, they laid the foundation for the public trust system. So today, the public trust system encompasses a wide range of programs administered by federal, state, and local governments. These programs provide essential support to millions of Americans, helping to address economic disparities and promote social welfare. However, the legal implications of accepting public trust benefits remain a critical consideration for individuals. As I conclude this exploration of the Trading with the Enemy Act, public trust, and the importance of clear status declaration, let us reaffirm the power of knowledge and proactive decision-making. By understanding the legal principles that govern public trust and the potential implications of accepting benefits, you can assert your independence and protect your rights. Remember, dear citizens, that your status is a reflection of your autonomy and self-determination. Guard it with care. Make informed decisions. Ensure that your actions align with your intentions. By doing so, you can navigate with complexities of public trust with confidence and clarity. In the grand theater of life and law, it's not just our actions, but our clarity of purpose that defines our true allegiance. Stand tall, declare status, and remain steadfast in independence. As we venture further into the 21st century now, the landscape of public trusts and the legal framework governing them continue to evolve. Advances in technology, shifts in economic policies, and changing societal needs all influence how public trust benefits are administered and perceived. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for maintaining your independent status and navigating the complexities of modern legal environment. The digital age has brought about significant changes in how public trust benefits are managed and delivered. Online platforms and electronic systems have streamlined the application and distribution processes, making it easier for individuals to access benefits. However, these technological advances also introduce new challenges and considerations. One of them I want you to consider is that God created trees, that created paper, God created ink or things that you could use for ink. So all of that stuff is natural. The replacement is electronic. One can go in a blink. I mean, they can both go in a blink, but one is organic and one's original. So that's what we want to keep in mind. One of the primary concerns in the digital age is privacy and security. When applying for public trust benefits online, individuals are required to provide sensitive personal information. Ensuring that this information is protected from unauthorized use and misuse is paramount. Additionally, individuals must be aware of how their data is used and stored by governmental agencies. You guys have a contract with everybody. When you click okay, everything you click on is a contract that you're entering into with what they can do with that data and that information. So we need to be aware of that. The digital footprint left by online transactions and interactions can have legal implications. For instance, accepting public trust benefits online creates a digital record that can be used to establish a presumption of consent to the associated terms and conditions. Those are sometimes called cookies, folks. They're not the good kind that you eat, okay? It is essential to understand how these digital records are maintained and how they might impact your legal status. We don't even realize some of the things we click on. Economic policies play a significant role in shaping public trust programs and their administration. Changes in government spending, taxation, social welfare policies, they can all influence the ability of the terms of the public trust benefits. So we got to stay informed about these policy changes, and it's crucial for making informed decisions in our lives. Fiscal policy also involves government and spending and taxation. It directly affects the funding and sustainability of public trust programs. So you guys can look up the fiscal policies on all these state trusts. So if you guys remember, like I know you guys, I've told you, but remember I told you that Anderson's Law, 1889, has the definition of state. State, estate, and status are all the same word. So when it says the status, your status, if you're accepting a public charitable benefit, your status is not private because it's public. You can't do both. And people don't understand how to get out of that. That's what we show you guys. That's what we teach you guys. You guys need to know what happened. You can't just go try to fix something, because if you try to just go fix it, it's a Band-Aid. It's not going to go away. And, people saying, well, go create a money to do this or that with it. That's not the solution. I'm telling you right now. That's inequitable. That's like Ward trying to go get something because mom told him no and they're going to dad now. That's not cool. That's not okay. That's dishonorable. So we're teaching people how to be honorable, how to remain in honor, and how to come with clean hands. Monetary policy, which involves the regulation of money supply and interest rates, also impacts public trust benefits. Inflation, for instance, can erode the purchasing power of fixed benefits, such as Social Security payments. Understanding the interplay between monetary policy and public trust benefits can help individuals make strategic decisions about their benefit acceptance and their financial planning. And as societal needs evolve, so do the programs and policies concerning public trust benefits. Demographic changes, shift in labor markets, and emerging social issues, they all influence the design and implementation of public trust programs. The aging population in many developed countries, including the United States, has significant implications for public trust programs, like Social Security and health care. As the proportion of elderly citizens increases, the demand for these benefits grows, putting pressure on the sustainability of the programs. Understanding these demographic trends can help individuals anticipate changes and make informed decisions about their benefit acceptance and retirement planning. Okay? You guys have collateral securities that were created for your benefit that are now not being used because you don't know how to do anything with them. You just need to learn what those stand for, how they pertain to what your life is and what your business is. Changes in labor market, like the rise of the gig economy and remote work, also impact trust benefits, public trust benefits. Traditional employment-based benefits, such as unemployment insurance, may not adequately cover individuals working in non-traditional employment arrangements. What I teach you guys is that what you're doing is you're getting your their program, and you don't understand why those things are happening. And until you can explain them, then it's going to continue to be a problem for you and anyone else. I mean, anyone else that, that wants to try to figure out what the problem is. It's really difficult to handle things when we don't know what we're supposed to handle, or we don't even know what happened to handle it. How do you contact somebody and tell them about something you have no idea or you just heard about? I heard about this. I'm going to tell you guys too, if you call these places, the Social Security is going to treat you like a beneficiary, like a ward, okay? Because that's what it is. Your main account that you received when you got here, that was a record and proof that the event of your life happened, is the first documentation. The second one is, the spendthrift, where that locks you out of your own authority, is the Social Security account. So when you guys created that contract, you said, hey, I don't know how this thing works, so you guys do something for me because I need help. And they're like, oh yeah, no problem, we'll broker out your accounting for you. So they did. They get paid for doing the accounting for you, and it's based upon this thing that you've agreed to under Social Security that is spendthrift, which means it's like a really super cheap setup where you're kind of getting the shaft. I don't need to tell you if you've if you guys have ever had any sort of benefits. You know what I'm talking about. Some of those, I'm not saying they're bad because they have helped. They have helped me in times, and I've actually had, in my time, like there was a time where I was going down to the homeless shelter to get food. Literally they were getting boxes of food because I didn't have anything to eat, and so I went down to those places, and they helped me when I was younger a lot. So I'm grateful for them. But when we do that, see what's happening is it's saying I can't handle my own affairs. So we go down to another business. The business is registered. In other words, it's owned. Now, it is a nonprofit. Let's just say it's St. Mary's Food Bank, okay? You go down to St. Mary's Food Bank. St. Mary's Food Bank is a 501c3 or 501c4, either one, okay? Both of those can be influenced by the government financially. So the government says, "Oh yeah, we'll give you, don't you worry. You come in and you can be one of those people that spreads that amazing word of the Vatican," or, this. It's all the same story, guys. Every one of those agencies, they're telling the same story in their own little version of it, okay? So like you guys can believe whatever you want, but I'm just telling you, it's the same story. And it's just a different version of the same thing. And they split us up so that we're arguing with each other about the same story, about which one is right, which one isn't. And they're all wrong. Every one of them are wrong. That whole story covers up the fact that how amazing you guys are and what abilities that we had before these people came and manipulated people's DNA and stuff. They started doing all kinds of crazy garbage. And the stuff that we have abilities to do, we don't even have the DNA to do it with right now, which is changing a lot. You're seeing a lot of people start to have like these, I don't know, we're going to say abilities. But, those abilities are evolving, and that's just because we're in an information age right now. We're in a very much of an information age where you can see, like, we're really close to the line that emits that information, where all that energy comes from. So people are learning really fast. People are awakening really fast. And I said it before once, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to change my mind because I said before, it's one of those things where people just don't realize that, they're powerful as they are. There's some that do. And you see the ones that do, they just they start thriving. I mean, you just see things happen good for people because they just realize their power. Like I've seen it within the last month on 2 different people I can think of right off the top of my head. Just boom, coming alive like that. Like, wait a second, I'm not a weak being like you said I was. I'm this powerful thing. And then suddenly they start taking control of their life. Their life turns 180 degrees in a different direction. And they're like, man, I love this. This is great. That's the people we like to deal with. That's the people I love to have around because that's the people that are there's people that their lives are changed by the information that we give. And it's just because of knowledge. It's like you didn't have doors before to open up. Now, when you go and make certain changes, you have other doors that you can go through. Transparency and administration of the trust is essential for assuring that individuals understand everything associated with these. And fairness in distribution and administration of public trust benefits is crucial for promoting justice and equity. So advocating for policies that address disparities and ensure that benefits are accessible to all eligible individuals can help create a more just society. It includes addressing barriers like discrimination, bureaucratic hurdles, and lack of awareness. Accountability ensures that governmental agencies and administrators are held responsible for their actions and decisions. Supporting measures that enhance oversight, address misconduct, and provide avenues for redress can help protect the rights of beneficiaries and maintain public trust in these programs. And as we conclude our explanation of this, remember, again, your status is a reflection of your autonomy and self-determination. You are to guard it with care, make informed decisions, and ensure that your actions align with your intentions. By doing so, You can navigate the complexities of public trust with confidence and clarity. In the grandeur theater of life and law, it's not just our actions, but our clarity of purpose that defines our true allegiance. Stand tall, declare your status, and remain steadfast in your independence. For in the end, it is your informed choices of proactive approach that will ensure your legal journey is ever clear and your status ever free. As a final note, I encourage each of you to embrace on a concept of lifelong learning. The legal landscape is ever changing, and staying informed about new developments, emerging issues, and evolving policies is essential for maintaining your independent status and protecting rights. Consider joining other study groups. Consider joining our Telegram group. Consider joining our website, attending workshops, and participating on online forums where you can share knowledge and learn from others. By fostering a community of informed and engaged citizens, we can collectively navigate the complexities of public trust and ensure that legal systems remain fair, transparent, and just. And let us commit to continuous learning and advocacy, always striving to uphold the principles of equity, autonomy, and justice. Together, we can build a brighter future where individual rights are respected and the legal system serves the needs of all. Thank you again, and may your legal journey be ever clear and your status be ever free. Some of the citations that I talked about in this were the Trading with the Enemy Act in 1917. The Social Security Administration actually has a online called Social Security History at www.ssa.gov/history. Temporary Assistance, TAMP, is the Department of Human Services. That is available at www.acf.hhs.gov. Supplemental SNAP is fns.usda.gov. And so Principles of Equity was cited on cornell.edu for this particular presentation. Also cited was Wheatley versus Westminster in Brimbo Coal and Coke Company in 1865. Also cited was Franklin D. Roosevelt's Presidential Library and Museum, The New Deal, at www.fdrlibrary.org. And then we have the Department of Labor. Unemployment insurance has a citation as well for www.dol, which is departmentoflabor.gov, and that's found under unemployment insurance. Also cited is Fiscal Policy and Public Trusts from Economic Policy Institute at www.epi.org, and Monetary Policy and Inflation and the Federal Reserve accessed at www.federalreserve.gov. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's presentation. I hope you got some information out of this, and I hope, that's it. So let me see if there's no questions, but they don't leave the fine print. No, they don't leave the fine print on the screen long enough for you to read it, and it's too small. That's intentional, Doug. So make sure that that's why, some of this is implied. Remember, it's implicit. So it's like, you don't have to do anything. And here, just go enjoy your benefit. Don't even worry about it. We got this for you. And that's the problem, is they got it for you. They got it for you, and you don't know what they got. That's the problem. So you guys, appreciate you so much. You have an amazing day. I send you much love. And with that, I yield.